Today on Country Pocket, we're lucky enough to have Paisley Fields with us. His new album is called Limp Wrist, and he is also a part of the rebooted Lavender Country. That's exciting on a whole new level. Paisley, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk to you.
The first song we heard today is called Iowa,
Mhm.
uh, a painful true story. Do you wish you could have been able to stay in Iowa?
Um, that's a complicated question, I guess. I feel like I definitely wish I had the choice or felt like I had the choice. It just didn't seem like it was an option, really. I didn't feel like there was any place for me to fit in there, so I left. But I do have, it's where I grew up. It's my hometown. So there are times when I miss it, when I miss that, you know, miss the people there, miss my friends, miss my family, and even just the beautiful landscapes and the all the stars at night.
Yeah. As a Long Islander, I don't know much about the stars at night.
Right. There are a lot of them in Iowa. It's pretty rural where I grew up.
Where you grew up was not too far from Wyoming, as you mentioned in the song. How old were you when Matthew Shepard was murdered?
I want to say I was maybe like 13 or 14. I remember it pretty clearly, and I remember people debating about whether he deserved it because he was hitting on, allegedly hitting on the two guys who ended up murdering him. And that was a real moment where I realized that it was not safe for me to come out.
Yeah, at that age, you knew.
Hmm.
Uh, I cannot imagine. I think I was 6 when Matthew Shepard was murdered, so I had no idea. Um, Growing up asexual on Long Island is definitely different than growing up gay in Iowa. Although I will say, uh, kids in school growing up did not differentiate between asexual and gay. They did not have a concept of asexual, so I was gay and making some weird thing up.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure it would have been the same case where I'm from too. It was just not talked about.
Yeah. I'm sorry you had to. I guess I feel like I got lucky. I started in one of the few places in the world where it wasn't as rough as it could have been.
Hmm.
So,
That's good. I'll talk to other friends too who had, a good experience coming out. Like not everybody who grew up as a queer identifying person had a bad experience, but a lot of us did. And I think it's important to talk about it and just share our experiences and acknowledge that everybody's experience is different.
yeah, I wouldn't say mine was great. I still have plenty of people who are like, no, asexual is temporary until you find the right person. I'm telling you, that's the answer more often than not from anyone over my age.
Yeah.
Um, but I know that in the wide world of how it could have gone, I recognize my luckiness.
Yeah.
Like at the same time as still having a bitter taste in my mouth from a few special people in my life.
Yeah.
So I know that you experience love and support from within the Americana community, being a queer person. What I want to know is if you experience love and support in the queer community, being an Americana person, being a country singer.
That's a great question. Yeah, I do. And I think that it's becoming more common for queer people to sing country music and to be in that genre. Um, I've I've encountered a lot of people in the queer community who have sort of written off country music because they don't think there's a place for them, not necessarily because they don't like that sound or that style of music.
Yeah, I don't think there's a place in mainstream country music at the moment, but our world is so much richer once you get beneath the top 40 radio version.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I
How
think it's changing, and hopefully they'll catch up.
I really do hope so. Although I'm almost terrified to hear a really tacky skinny jeans truck bed gay country song. Like, I don't know if that's progress.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think some of that exists already.
Um, how important was it for you to find community outside of Iowa, being in New York or Nashville or online?
I mean, I think it's crucial to have a community, to have support, you know. A lot of people, queer people, don't have family that they can count on, so their friends and their community are so important. And I'm lucky in the fact that I do have some family that I'm close with, and I um I also have, you know, a great community here and a great group of friends, all, you know, all over the country, really, through music.
Tell me about the lifeline you found when you were younger through internet relationships.
Yes, that is a reference, I guess, from the song Dial Up Lover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was really kind of the only way to meet other people in my hometown. So I would just log on to these AOL chat rooms and see who was in there and try to find somebody to talk to anonymously and, you know, get information and like also discover who I was and who other people like me were and if they were out there somewhere.
And they existed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have, right on this phone, I still have people who were my dial up. In my case, it wouldn't really be lover, but dial up connections.
Yeah.
Uh, all these years later, it's such a, the internet is such a funny place. It
It really
can
is.
be so uniquely terrible as to tear at the foundations of democracy, but it can also be the best lifeline for the very people that tearing at the foundations threatens most. It's
Hmm.
such a weird place.
Yeah, it is. It's got it all.
Let's hear Dial Up Lover, and we'll be right back with Paisley Fields.